Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and my space. For those of you who are new, my name is Racquel. Welcome to our little family here. Those of you clicking back on, hi, hello, I'm glad you came back for another one of my videos. This is not a tarot reading, as you can tell by the title. This is Spirit Speak Saturdays. And on Spirit Speak Saturdays, what I like to do is just take a break from the tarot and talk about spirituality and spiritual things in general. I've made a couple of videos for Spirit Speak. You can go look them up on my channel. But today's video is one that I have been compelled to make for a while now. And I've done some research recently on how to put this all together because there's a million things out there on the web. There's a million people that experience, spiritual activity within their home. If they move, they still experience it. And there's just so many different takes on how you can be haunted or why you are haunted or what is haunting you. So this video, if you want to know all about what I have come to find, because I've been haunted since I was little, and what I have through years and an extensive research on the subject, what I have come to learn, please continue watching. Okay, so first off, I'm going to get into how spirits haunt you and what they might do and why they are attracted to you, why they come to you, okay? Now, most often than not, when you hear a paranormal tale, or when you watch one of those real life paranormal documentaries, or even if you've experienced it yourself, the start of these hauntings usually occur around either depression. The person becomes completely depressed at first, therefore they are on low vibe, so they attract low vibing entities to them, okay? Or there's a death in the family, so their mind is more open, they're more vulnerable, they're more grief stricken, and they're on a lower vibe because they are more vulnerable, because they are more hurting. They're in more hurting because they're in so much pain. So they're, again, attracting low vibing entities. The sudden birth or a birth of a new life form into your house. Like if you have a baby, or if you have just brought a new puppy home or a new kitten or something like that. Something of that innocence, of that, they are high vibrating, high beings, but they're attracting low vibrational entities because they are innocent, because they don't know the difference between light and dark yet. Whereas we get older, we understand the difference between light and dark. So when you're a high vibrational being, adult, you do not attract negative entities because they understand, they know that you are older, they know you're on a high vibe, and therefore you are not as vulnerable, you are more stronger. But anyways, I'm getting a little bit off subject. The thing is major life changes, the loss of a job, loss of a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, significant other, loss of a child, loss, any type of loss or sudden life-turning event. These people who have experienced hauntings will notice and take note to spiritual activity happening within their home. And it's not because you've done something wrong or you've called something in. It can just be that because of these life-altering changes that you are making or have made, you are calling, you are attracting, you're at a vulnerable spot in your life, and you are on a low vibrational level. So you are attracting these beings to you. Okay. So that's one way they are attracted to you. That's one way how it can start happening, especially for a skeptic. They like they like skeptics. They like to prove that if it is a malicious spirit, it likes to prove its existence. And it will prove its existence to a skeptic once the skeptic has that vulnerability open. All right. So that's one way. Another way is if you are just born that way. Like, okay, so I know for a fact that if you have any Scorpio placements, any strong 8th house placements, any strong Pluto placements, the 8th house is the house of death. Okay, so if you have any strong Scorpio, any strong Pluto, because Pluto rules the 8th house, Scorpio and Pluto rule the 8th house. So if you have strong Scorpio or strong Pluto placements, if you have a stellium in your 8th house, you are a walking, talking ghost portal. Seriously, you are a walking, talking ghost portal, which basically means they are attracted to you. Doesn't matter where you move, doesn't matter where you live, they will always be around you. So it is very important that you sage yourself frequently. I do it twice a week because I'm a Scorpio rising, and my north node's in my 8th house. So I sage myself frequently. I sage my home frequently. Normal people only have to sage their home like once a month and it's okay, or maybe once every 3 months and it's okay. But Scorpio, like I said, with the strong Scorpio placements, and Pisces placements. So if you have strong Pisces placements or 12th house, if you have a stellium in your 12th house, you're another one. Okay, walking, talking portal. So, but because of that, I have to sage my house twice a month. I have to sage myself twice a week. So that is just another way that they come to you or come to people. Also, if you have a child within your home that is very innocent, very happy-go-lucky, very out there, you can just see their light just shining, and you can see it without even being a psychic. Imagine how they can see it on the other side. And they are attracted to things that are bright and light. Okay, darkness will always be attracted to light. Light will always be attracted to dark. It's just balance of the universe. All right, so those are how. Oh, and also, okay, here's one more thing. I almost forgot to say how these entities can come about haunting you or your home. If you practice divination, if you play with the Ouija board, if you do any sort of thing like I do here, okay, and you don't do it properly, you don't open portals, if you don't protect yourself, open and close, you have to close the portal. If you don't do that, if you don't know the right steps on divination, you should never practice divination. Well, I'm not going to say never practice it, but look into the right ways to practice divination, because it is not a game. It is, you are contacting spirit. And when you are contacting spirit, unless you know how to do it properly, you don't know what you are bringing in to your space, okay? You're opening a door without guidelines, all right? Without protecting yourself, okay? And when you open that door without protecting yourself, anything can just waltz in, all right? So any type of spiritual game, like, I don't know, like Bloody Mary, Three Kings. There's a bunch of YouTube videos on the Three Kings. I highly suggest you do not play that. There's a closet game. I think Shane Dawson did it. where you go into a closet and you say some things and you have a lit match, and if the lit match blows out, I can't remember the whole entirety. I didn't watch the video, and I don't want to dog him on it, so this is no way. I am not dogging Shane Dawson here. But any type of paranormal game like that, or have just sitting down, having a seance, doing light as a feather, stiff as a board, all those paranormal games that we used to play as kids, playing those without knowing how to protect yourself or your space, is essentially, for one, it's taunting the spirit world and not showing them that you do not respect them. For two, it's making it so that they see, they're like, it's kind of like that cockiness, like they think you're cocky, so they're going to prove to you, they're going to take you down a peg. All right. So those type of games, I very, very highly recommend you do not play. I practice divination, but I know how to safely open up a portal, protect myself, open up a portal, call in my guides. I know how to do that safely, and then close it and then clear my energy afterward, okay? But I highly recommend that you don't just go out and buy tarot cards and start reading without learning the proper steps to take when you are reading somebody. So essentially, playing paranormal games, hold on a second, will bring in unwanted spirits. And one last form of how you can become haunted is by calling spirits out. Don't ever, very important, don't ever call spirits out. Don't say, F you, if you're really there, make that cabinet door open and slam shut. And if they don't do it, continuing to swear at them, okay? See, stuff like that is just provoking them, all right? Because there is something you need to realize here. All right, we are human beings, and we have this innate thing where we try to respect one another, okay? Everybody wants respect from somebody else. That's just how the human race is. We need respect. You should respect people, right? Spirit realm is not that much different. They expect respect. And if you don't give them respect, they will demand it in harsh ways, okay? I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody or scare anybody, but that's what they do, all right? And also, the people around you, you got to watch the people around you, because they, you could be that mother that doesn't know that your daughter's playing with a Ouija board, or you could be that father or that husband that doesn't know that their wife is starting to do like occult magic or something like that. You know what I mean? You gotta, or even the people that come into your home. This is another way that you can attract a negative spirit. Okay, so say one of your friends is really depressed and stuff like that, or they just have some baggage going around. They got some negativity, some attachment to their energy. And your home is all nice, bright, white light, there's nothing ever going wrong in your home. And then all of a sudden, this person who is depressed maybe decided to play with the Ouija board, got an attachment somewhere, walked into a cemetery, whatever, got an attachment. They come into your home. Now, this attachment has been sucking them dry for a while. And then they look at you and they see this white light and they see how nice it is in here. And they're like, oh, there's a lot of energy I can suck up here. This person I'm not getting any more energy off of, so I'm just going to hang out here. Because they will do that. That's why, like, when people come over to my house, if I got a bad vibe off of somebody, or if I didn't like the vibes that was coming off of them, I always sage my house afterward. because I don't want anything that might be attached to them to become attached to me. So those are the ways that you can become haunted. Oh yeah, and going out to paranormal sites, or maybe, walking into a building that has paranormal activity. If you are not protected or haven't protected yourself, you can get an attachment and then, of course, bring it home to your home. So those are the different ways how paranormal activity can start up in your home. All right. Now, what do they do? What do they do? Now, there is many different ways that spirits can make themselves present or make themselves known in a home. They can open and close doors. They can open and close cabinets. They can take things and it'll go missing, and you'll look everywhere, and you'll even look on the floor. You'll look everywhere, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's somewhere where it shouldn't be, and it's right front and center. They can take things and, move them around your home. Another common thing is footsteps, hearing laughter, giggling, crying, faint whispers that you can't decipher what they're saying. There's actual physical. Now this is kind of spooky. It's spooky in and of itself. More powerful spirits can actually physically harm you. They can, put scratch marks on you, bruises on you. They can flick you. They can push you. They can, bite you. They can do stuff like that to you. So those are the stronger ones, but I'm going to get into the spirits in a second here. But you may also experience in hauntings, specific times when things happen. That's also related to another type of energy, which I will be talking about in this video. I'm trying not to make it too long, so we'll see. But those are just some of the ways that they can haunt you. Now, what type of spirits are there? What type of spirits are out there? All right, so I put them into little brackets here and there, because really it all depends on the person and what they're experiencing. So there's this spirit, and they are intellectual beings. Okay, so these are more than likely, they are humans that have crossed over, and they know that they're dead. They're either trapped here or they can go freely in between the dimensions. And these entities or these spirits know that they're dead. They know who you are, and they want to communicate with you. So they might have lights flicker. They might, put on a certain song, or they might mess with your electronics. They might pick things up, move things different places. But these are the type of or they might even talk to you. Or show themselves to you. These types of spirits, they are in the here and now. Now, some people will say, oh, well, there's a bad spirit, and just like these intellectual spirits, there are good spirits and there are bad spirits, because these spirits are human. So in essence, okay, if Angry Joe down the street died, okay, and then say you bought Angry Joe's house, you go in there and he's stuck. Say he's stuck. He's angry. For one, he's Angry Joe. He's always been a grump, always been angry, right? But in death, that personality does not change. And just like with human beings, we can get along with certain personalities and we can't get along with other personalities. And that's how it is with spirits. They can get along with certain people, but they won't get along, or they won't like other people. Like, say Angry Joe doesn't like women. Say he's never liked women. If a woman moved in there, she might experience horrible, horrible things. She might experience, like, depending on how powerful Angry Joe is, she could get pushed, or, he could do something as benign as whisper in her ear that she's worthless. So, and it's not that he is demonic or anything like that. He was just an angry person in life, and he is an angry person in death. Okay, that is the difference. And you can have good good intellectual spirits like that. You could have like say the, I don't know, the mama hen, like say your best friend was always a mama hen and she all of a sudden just died one day or something like that, and you ended up accumulating her house or something like that, or your aunt was very motherly and then she died and then you ended up accumulating the house and the will. Okay, say she was always the caretaker, she always had food, she always just showed warmth and love, you will feel that from her. But say she didn't like dogs and you brought a dog into the house, the dog might not have a very good experience in that house. Okay, but that's the difference, the between the bad intellectual and the good intellectual. Now, another common ghost that people most see are shadow people. And you can see these out of the corner of your eye, just like zooms out of the corner of your eye, or you can see them head on. When you see them head on, they are like a silhouette. They are a silhouette of a human, but they have no features. It's all black. These beings are not human. They are not demonic, though. They are, some people claim that it is when people sleep, they astral travel, and that could be a shadow person, or it could be a being from another dimension that has come into our current dimension. But anyways, and it's the same with the intellectual beings. There are, nice shadow people and not so nice shadow people. So you really have to gauge the level of how they're treating you to know if they're good or bad. All right, poltergeist. This is one of my favorite to get into because there is so much stigmata about it. There are so many ideas of what poltergeist is. But from what I have come to understand and what I have come to research is that when you speak things into reality, you can make reality, okay? You can say, I don't know, say there's a unicorn. There's a unicorn that always follows me. Say you keep repeating that over and over and over again. Well, eventually, either in another dimension, you've popped a unicorn into reality because our thoughts and what we say create our reality. So this thing might follow you around the house and stuff. All right. So when you're thinking or speaking, I am constantly haunted, you are putting that out into reality, okay? Even if you aren't a person that is constantly haunted, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're imagining up is coming out into reality. There are people that are very good manifestors. It's one of their mystical or chosen gifts, God-given gifts. So when they speak stuff like that, or they think stuff like that, they're making it come into reality. So all those poltergeist movies where you see like, chairs standing up on end like this and stuff like that, that is essentially one person's energy in the house, in the home. Somebody who is going through a lot, that is thinking a lot, that is processing or grieving a lot. Somebody who can truly manifest, like really truly manifest. They are manifesting these occurrences in their home, and they are essentially creating a dark entity. They are creating a dark entity into their reality. A lot of people believe in that we are God, that we all have a little bit of God in us, and we can create things. We create things physically all the time. So we can create things with our thoughts. And if we're thinking our house is haunted by an evil entity, and you're a good manifester, you're going to manifest your own little evil entity into your house. And that is essentially what I've heard a lot of paranormal, psychic people tell me, and that's what I've also read, and I've also seen it, and I've also experienced it. So that poltergeist is basically you manifesting your own haunting. You creating your own entity to haunt your house. I know, it's wild, isn't it? Let me know what you think in the comment section below about that one. So then we're going to move on to another entity. This is a more darker based entity. It's a demonic entity. Now, demonic entities, they were never alive. Never alive, okay? So, but they can pose, and they will quite often pose as any of the other ghosts that I talked about. Sometimes they will pose as poltergeist activity. Sometimes they will pose as shadow people. Sometimes they will pose as a spirit, a dead loved one, a little boy, a little girl, anything to get you to gain their trust. And then once they've got your trust, you've opened the door to them, and now they can do whatever they want to do. Okay, so it's very important to try to feel out the hauntings in your home, because you want to know what is haunting you and what is not haunting you. You don't want to mistake a good ghost for a demon. You don't want to mistake a demon for a good ghost. Okay. There was one more I wanted. Oh yes. Okay. So here, another type of haunting, and it's not really a spirit. It's not, but people get this confused with spirit. People get this confused with spirit a lot. And I will talk about this particular thing in my Spooky Story Sunday, the Napier house, because there was some residual energy there, but I am talking about residual energy. So this is seeing a spirit do the same thing over and over again, or hearing a certain thing at a certain time or on a specific day over and over and over again. Okay, when the haunting repeats and they go through repetitive motion and they don't acknowledge you, they just go through that repetitive motion, it is because whatever they were doing at that time, they were very emotional about it. There was a lot of energy buildup, and it exploded and it stuck. It imprinted itself to the walls of the home. Okay, so you don't have to be dead to do this either, which I will talk about in my Spooky Sundays Napier house story that's coming out tomorrow. But it's basically like, okay, so say your house, say you move into a building that had caught fire like decades ago. All right, it caught fire decades ago, and every once in a while, at a certain time, you smell smoke. Okay, or every once in a while, at a certain time, your house is or that building is extremely hot, or every once in a while at that time, you hear things. Okay, now you hear screams and stuff. This is because that fire is a huge energy signature. The people's pain, the people's fear, the people's, whatever was at an all-time high, and it had to expel itself. And when it expelled itself, it spilled out into, their energy spilled out into the dimension. Okay, so it imprinted itself in that building. All right. It can also happen with happy memories, like if there was a wedding, or if there was like the birth of a child. Okay, everyone's emotions are high, so then it spills out. Okay, if someone commits suicide and you constantly hear or constantly see somebody hanging in your closet, for example, but it's at one time, like every other Sunday or something like that, but it's at that specific time, it's residual energy, because there was so much sorrow in that person that when they died, the energy stayed in that spot, and it's on loop. It's like rewinding a movie. But that's what residual energy is. Now, if ghosts can do that, you can do that as well. You can do that as well. And I have proof of that, but that is going to be in my Napier video. But I am going to just leave you with this on that residual energy spiel. Say you and your spouse fought, like a huge big blowout, okay? And it was like bad, like guys slammed doors, yelled at each other, slammed a door, walked away, whatever. Say that happened, okay? And then you break up and then you leave the house. The person that moves into that house next will probably, if it was a big enough blowout, they will experience that fight at that time all the time, and they will think it's a ghost, but it's not. It's your own energy being expelled out into the atmosphere of the home, okay? Saging can get rid of residual energy. Saging, Palo Santo, that all can get rid of residual energy. But like I said, you could still be alive, move on, and then the person that comes in after you experiences what that all that energy that you put out there was. So let me know in the comments below how you resonate with this. Have you had any experiences yourself? Did this help enlighten you a little bit on the spiritual world? Would you like me to continue doing Spirit Speak Saturdays? It won't always be ghosts. I do have other topics that I wish to touch on, like psychic gifts and other things like that, how you can protect yourself. But just know, please be safe. Don't go messing with things that you don't know how to deal with, because I will tell you what, I made that mistake when I was younger, and it was the worst mistake I ever made. I tell you. But I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for clicking on this Saturday morning and hanging out and talking with me about spirit. I am very interested in what you have to say about this subject matter. And I hope you all have an amazing weekend. And until my next video, bye.